Hi all, we're back for the final of our three-part series revolving around pain. So if you haven't been keeping up to this point, we've had two previous blog posts and videos about pain, what it is, what happens when it sticks around for too long, and what we can start to do about it. So go head back to our website and check those out if you haven't already, or videos that are previously posted on Instagram. For today, we're talking about the third and final blog of this series that talks about what we can do and what's in our control about persistent pain or recovering from these events. So when we have pain that sticks around for a long time, we may or may not have tissue damage, and the longer it's around, the less likely we have tissue damage or an injury. So what do we do about that? And I like to point towards an equation that's commonly used in the strength and conditioning world, but can be applied to all aspects of life. And that is stress plus recovery equals adaptation. So our bodies are all geared toward adapting to stress so that the next time we face that, it can become stronger and better and more resilient to that. So we can talk about this in form of doing a bicep curl, right? And strengthening our biceps over time, or also something like public speaking, where you were very nervous the first time, stressed out, feeling really anxious. But as you expose yourself to that over time, you become more comfortable and confident with that. The thing about the stress part of this equation is that our body can't tell a difference between those types of stressors. It might be work, life, finances, relationships, or it could be a hard workout, doing too much too soon, being sick, or not getting enough sleep. To our body and our nervous system, stress is stress. It can't tell which one has a more impact than the other. It's the body's goal to adapt to these and become more resilient. However, if the cumulative stress is too great and the recovery component of our equation doesn't match that, it will fail to adapt. Or we may even see maladaptive signs, including more pain, fatigue, or potential injury. So our job in PT and in recovery is to evaluate stressors of all kinds: physical, emotional, psychological, social, and to assess the cumulative impact that these are having relative to your ability to recover. If we can manipulate these stressors to assure adequate dosage of not too much, not too little, while focusing on recovery strategies and those activities that matter to you, we will see an adaptation take place, resulting in a body that can take on more. I like to talk about the analogy of a cup that I've learned over the years. This cup represents you, your body, and your brain, and I include all of those because we've learned that they all play a role in pain, right? The cup is filled with water, and stressors are placed into the water. Remember, our body can't tell the difference between what these stressors are. They all go into our cup. As more goes in, the water level rises. When that water level gets to a point of overflowing, you may experience a setback, flare-up, more pain, fatigue, maybe an injury, because that's a sign that the cumulative stress in your life has met its capacity. Your cup has met its capacity, can't take on any more. So what do we do about that? Well, our goal is to remove or modify the objects or stressors that we can from your cup so that water level lowers. And when we do this over time and manipulate those stressors, we can see adaptation and the results of a bigger cup. This can mean that you can take on more before overflowing, right? Which means you're more resilient. It may sound like a simple concept, but simple is not always easy. And if it feels like it's something that applies to you, which it does to all of us to some extent, a great place to start is to reflect on what stressors you may have in your life, how you cope or recover from those. Do you make time for joyful activities with people you love? Do you prioritize healthy food, water, adequate sleep? Do you move your body every day? These are all foundations and key to health and wellness, but also to combating persistent pain and keeping yourself feeling good and moving well. Reach out with questions, let us know what you think, and stay tuned for more.